Jalen Brunson for the Knicks, another 30-point night. He had 37. Knicks down by 12. Were able to tie it late. Cade Cunningham, excellent game 2. Had 33 points. All knotted up at 94. 55 seconds ago, Dennis Schroder for the key 3. He had 20 off the bench. And the Pistons tie up the series at 1 game apiece, beating the Knicks tonight 100-94. Knicks never led. They were able to tie it late. Brunson had 14 in the fourth quarter, but Towns did not score a single point in the second half, didn't get a shot in the fourth quarter. Mikal Bridges didn't score in the fourth quarter. It was Brunson and nothing else for the Knicks as they try to come back.
Yeah, and Jalen was unbelievable. You know, he was keeping his team in it. And you have to adjust as a player when you're playing with a guy that's so dominant scoring like Jalen Brunson. You just have to be ready when you get your opportunities. Obviously, Towns is used to being more into the game. Here's a little spat between Hart and Schroder. Schroder is a nag. Believe me, that guy is going to get under your skin. He's going to do all the little tricks. He's a veteran and he's smart. Jalen Brunson, though, outstanding in that fourth quarter. Noah Thompson, he fouled him out. This was a big play there. Tie game, Jalen Duren gets that dunk. And then Josh Hart gets it back on the other end.
Tied it up.
Ties it up, was looking for the foul, didn't get it. That's just a bad miscommunication. Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson have to switch to not allow that good of a look. And then down the other end, down 3. That's an outstanding open shot. Bridges misses, Schroder makes. That's the difference in this game. That's the pressure that the Pistons put on the Knicks. And now we're going back to Detroit City, tied at 1. Looks like this is going to be a long season, a long series, sorry.
Well, and neither team shot well from downtown. Look at the difference from the free throw line. In the first half, the Knicks only went 2 of 2 from the line, while Detroit went 13 out of 14 for the game. Knicks outscored by 12 points from the line in a game that was physical on both ends of the court. And how about the rebounding there? Detroit outboards the Knicks by 14, and Isaiah Stewart, their backup big guy, didn't play because of a sore knee. What do you make it? Also, bench points, by the way, 35 for the Pistons and only 8 for the Knicks.
Well, first of all, the Pistons are better without an injured Isaiah Stewart in the lineup. Paul Reed was active. He's mobile. He can move. Isaiah Stewart was not moving well in game 1. So they replaced him with a viable, healthy guy that gave him some quality minutes when he was out there on the floor. I'll tell you, this team relies a lot on their bench. Beasley and Schroder are 2 guys that Coach J.B. Bickerstaff trusts. They're veterans. They've been in big moments. They've been in playoff games. They've been in big games. And he leaves them out there in the fourth quarter. He's got a lot of options to put around Cade Cunningham. And the Knicks changed their coverage a little bit on Cade Cunningham, didn't double him as much, didn't leave the open shooters open as often. So Cade saw that, and he attacked the whole entire game, and he dominated with a big-time performance.
Cunningham in game 1 had 21. We've mentioned he went for 33 tonight. Is that because of the difference in how the Knicks were playing him?
Yeah, they were blitzing him hard in game 1. They were trying to get the ball out of his hands, make other people beat him. As a result, Detroit made 15 threes. In this one, they allowed Anunoby to guard him a lot more one-on-one. And I'll tell you, he can score on Anunoby. If you stick to one-on-one, he's that good.
But why did the Knicks change it up when it was so effective in game 1?
They were down 8 going into the fourth quarter. So they had to kind of make a few adjustments, and as a result, Cade Cunningham saw that. He stayed aggressive. At some point, you're going to have to trust Bridges and OG Anunoby to guard this guy one-on-one and during this series, because if they can't stop him one-on-one, they have too many shooters if you're doubling, and it becomes too predictable of a defense when you just throw 2 guys at Cunningham to get the ball out of his hands. You're going to be playing on a power play on the other side of the floor, and this team has other guys that can really hurt the Knicks, especially from the three-point line.
When we come back, we will hear from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau. It's a 1-1 series. We know we're going to have a Game 5 back here at MSG. Game 3 is in Detroit on Thursday night. The coach is next.
Coach, can you look at the difference in rebounding and just ball movement? You only have 15 assists tonight.
Yeah, so the rebounding was problematic the whole night. So that's probably the difference in the game. You got to get stops. I thought we had some good looks at threes and we didn't make. So trust the pass and, but we got to rebound.
Mikal had that open look to tie it up. Was that the as good a look you could hope for, and something she surprised?
Yeah, and again, the same thing. It's the right play. Make the right play. Shot it good. We didn't make it. As long as you shoot it good, and he works on it all the time, so it's a good shot. when we missed.
How do you assess what you saw from Jalen tonight?
Same, like he battled like crazy. There was a physicality that, like I want to take a look at obviously huge discrepancy in free throws. Huge. So I got to take a look at that. Right. So, I don't understand, how on one side, you talk about direct line drives, the guy's getting fouled and it's not being called. Right. So, and look, I really don't give a crap how they call the game as long as it's consistent on both sides. So if Cunningham's driving and there's marginal contact and he's getting to the line, then Jalen deserves to be getting to the line. It's really that simple.
Tom, in terms of becoming a 48-minute team, playing the full 48 minutes, where do you guys need to go, or how can you guys get to the point where you're playing?
Well, the thing is, missed shots are part of the game, but the rebounding, we control that. That's your effort. That's all those things. So, if you're not shooting well, you got to do other things to help us win. So rebound the ball. So we know we got to rebound better.
Cat didn't get any shots in the fourth quarter. What do you make of that? And are there ways you feel like you guys can get him a little more involved in those situations?
Well, he's getting touches, but he's making the right play. If he's getting double teamed, I don't want him just shooting the ball over three people. That makes no sense to me.
And you also, in the first half, you closed with Mitch at 5 over Cat.
Well, Mitch was the one guy rebounding.
What was Cade doing differently that, allowed him to score so much today? And after, you guys contained him pretty well in game one.
Yeah, no, he's a great player, so got to the line a lot.
How exhausting is it for your ball club to play catch up the entire game, and how problematic is that?
Well,
Tom?
you have to win games different ways. Obviously, you'd rather play with the lead, but, whatever you just got to find a way to win at the end.
Tom, you talked about the calls, but I think it was 14-2 in the first half free throws. Is that a big thing you saw?
Yeah, and we got 2 late that were, so, it is what it is.
We saw you guys kind of dominate after that 21-0 run last game. What was the difference this time that they were able to be so resilient?
Yeah, same thing. We made a comeback and, we had a good shot at the end and it didn't go in. So, that's the way it goes sometimes, make or miss league.
Just what's the message or the outlook going into game 3 now?
Same thing. Each game is different. You have to reset. Whether you win or lose, you reset, get ready for the next one. You got to understand what goes into winning.
I know you mentioned the fouls. Just in general, how do you feel like the guys responded to this physicality?
That's playoff basketball. It's it's going to be physical, and that's fine. And the rebounding we got to fix.
When the calls aren't going your guys' way, do you feel like there's an issue at all with maybe you guys getting too wrapped up in that and that negatively impacting you guys?
That's part of our league. So you make your point, move on, try to do it during a dead ball.
After kind of a quiet game one, Schroder 20 off the bench tonight. What was it giving you trouble with him tonight?
Well, I think anytime, you put 2 on somebody, you got to make sure you're reacting out. And so I thought our turnovers hurt us in the first half. It was better in the second half. And we put them into the open floor.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Here is the post-game comment from Pistons coach J.B. Bickerstaff.
We did what we were supposed to do, and that was it. To win a game on the road, to get home court was what we came here for. So we approached it with a business-like mentality and learned from the fourth quarter the other night, but we just did what we were supposed to do.
I know you respect history, and you weren't here for all what's come before you here, but understanding that this franchise hasn't won a playoff game in 18 years, to be a part of the group, your business isn't finished, but to be able to achieve that next step along the way, what does it mean?
Again, we'll talk about that this summer. Again, we got bigger things we're out here for. So our focus, and that's why our guys have been able to grow and been consistent, is because they just think about the now. And I thought they did a great job tonight, staying in the moment and doing what we needed to do.
On Saturday, the Knicks really blitzed Cade to try to get the ball out of his hands. Tonight was kind of the opposite. I don't think he got his first assist to the third, but obviously he was picking up matchups and taking advantage of them. Just what did you see in his overall approach tonight? How he was able to
I thought it was, a great job of the guys helping him create that space. So by the time their trap was going to arrive, it was going to be late, and then there was separation and room for him to attack. But, he had his mind made up what he was going out to do tonight, and he was elite at it like he always is.
Coach, to overcome, the collapse of Saturday and coming into this game without Isaiah Stewart, what can you share about this team resiliency, something that they have relied upon throughout this whole time?
Yeah, it's the makeup of the men in the locker room. Right? Like, we don't have guys who give in. We don't have guys who make excuses. We just have guys that show up every single day and lay it on the line for one another. And that's all you can ask for. It's a special group when, to a man, they don't want to let each other down. And so they're not going to let their own personal feelings get in the way of the job that they need to do for their teammate, for their brother, for their, that's just who we are. And we're fortunate to have, guys with that type of character and that type of spirit.
Well, Dennis Schroder had 20 points. The Pistons are the third team he's played on this year and the ninth team he's played on in his career. And every time he seems to play against the Knicks, you're sitting there saying, why does this guy move around so much?
Yeah, he was an elite point guard, top-level point guard when he played for the Hawks for all those years. And he's a shoot-first kind of guy, and he's in a perfect role, like Vinnie Johnson off the bench for the Detroit Pistons, just looks to score. And he had a big game in this one. And he's not afraid of the moment. I constantly go back to when he was matched up against Jalen Brunson in the FIBA World Championships 2 summers ago, and he played for Team Germany, and they won the gold medal, and the Knicks won the bronze. So this is something where this guy has no fear in big games. This guy will make big shots if you make a mistake on defense, and Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson didn't switch correctly on that last three with a minute to go, which turned out to be the big shot in the game. And it's one of those things where, as a team, the Knicks are going to have to you can't let things slide against this team. This team will make you pay when you make every defensive and offensive mistake. That's how connected they are. And what Coach Bickerstaff said about that team in the locker room, you can see it. These guys play for each other. They play physically and they play to win, and they have true belief that they can beat the Knicks, and the Knicks are going to have to get some things together moving this series to Detroit.
When we come back, the MSG 150, getting you caught up on some other series, including the Warriors, Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry during their thing last night against the Rockets. Highlights coming up. In the National Basketball Association action from yesterday, Magic at the Celtics. Paolo Banchero had 36. Magic actually led by one at the break. Derek White, elite. His shooting has really improved in recent years. He had 30 points. Celtics try the alley-oop to KP. Jason Tatum, an off game, but he was able to convert this sequence, and Boston's up by 11. Boston, Sam Hauser now with the block. Celtics go on the break. Peyton Pritchard nails a three. Celtics go up by 17. One thing to watch here, the right wrist of Jason Tatum, hammered here, fell on that wrist. X-rays were negative. Hopefully he's not impacted the rest of the way. Celtics win going away. They are up 1-0. Heat of the Cavs. This is number 1, Cleveland against the 8th-seeded Heat. Donovan Mitchell yesterday making all the right moves. Cavs up early. Another spectacular move here. Mitchell had 30, and the Cavs go up by 11. Ty Jerome, huge off the Cavs bench. Fourth quarter, we love to say it. Send it in, Jerome. He had 5 from downtown, 5 threes. Then Jerome with the one-handed floater. Cavs win by 21 points. 28 for Jerome in the Game 1 win. How about the Warriors at the Rockets? Steph Curry, 31. Dribble into 3. More Steph. Catching, turning. Golden State up by 12 at the break. Third quarter, Jimmy Butler hits the 3. He had 25. Says hello to Reggie Miller. Warriors up 20. And then Steph again, falling out of bounds. This is absolutely ridiculous. Warriors go up by 23. Fourth quarter, Rockets cutting into the lead. But Curry for 3. Another rainbow. He had 5 threes. And Jimmy Butler and the Warriors prevail over the Rockets in Game 1, 95-85 is the final. That's your MSG 150 final. Cat tonight did not score in the fourth quarter. Post-game talking about the Knicks getting outboarded 48-34.
I don't know. I was, executing what we said we wanted to do. So, maybe you wish you could always get one of those long rebounds, loose balls, So it was something that got us that, kind of run. We got those 50-50 balls, and we just didn't get that today. So put us in a tough spot. We fought back. We put ourselves in the game, gave ourselves a chance, took some good shots, trust, you trust everyone in this locker room to take those shots and make them. So, nothing to feel bad about getting those kind of shots.
Well, what do you, attribute the slow starts to? Obviously you guys were playing from behind today. Game one, it was kind of a similar.
Yeah, it was a similar game, right? I mean, every day you're going to get a 21-0 run. So we can't be expecting stuff like that. You just can't expect to flip a switch and all of a sudden, we're the team that we, worked so hard all year to be. So we got to bring that kind of execution and discipline all game.
Karl, you didn't get any shots off in the fourth quarter. What was that? Was it like
just trying to have the game, do what it does, and like I said, just executing what we talked about. So, thought we got some great shots and great looks. So, you live with, those kind of great shots and great looks, especially when we fought back and got in the game.
Mikhail obviously had
Tobias guarding you. I know it's far from the first time you've had a win guarding you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a guy like Tobias guarding you, what's your mentality off the ball? Are you trying to get the ball for catch and go so you can drive? Are you trying to set up this
I let the defense tell me. I let the defense tell me. So obviously when I'm always trying to get involved as much as possible. So, whether it's post up, I feel I've worked tremendously hard on my game to have an outside and inside game. I think I've proven that to the world year in, year out. So just being aggressive, getting to spots I could do what I do best.
Coach pointed out the rebounding discrepancy tonight. Usually a good rebounding team. Why the difference tonight?
Again, we just didn't get those 50-50 basketballs. They did a great job of getting those, and they did a great job of just finding, those long rebounds in different ways. They obviously, we knew after game one, they're going to come out in game two with more intensity, and we had to match it, and we just didn't tonight.
Mikhail obviously had a pretty good scoring game, and then fourth quarter gets a clean look. Did you think that shot that he took was going?
Of course. We all saw what happened in Portland, so he doesn't need much space to get a game winner going. So he got a great look. JP got a great look. You live with those kind of shots.
When you're looking around in this locker room, what are you expecting out of your teammates the rest of the way, man?
Just, fight. I mean, this is something, we got experience in this locker room, and we're a locker room that's close-knit, so I expect us to, stay connected, get hungrier, and find ourselves executing at a high level.
Hey, Karl, Detroit, you had 3 shots, I think, in the third. I know I asked you about the fourth. I'm just curious, did Detroit do anything different in the second half that you had seen previously in the first game and a half?
Yeah, it could be better.
I got to watch the film, but I can't really answer that. I'm in the game, so like I said, I'm just executing what we're told to do and try to do my best at doing it at a high level.
The free throw disparity, how difficult? We're not worried about that. How difficult is it to play through that when it's
the playoffs? It's the playoffs, so you can't be worried about free throw disparity and all that stuff. We got to go out there and play physical and not worry about that. If we let that creep into the minds, it becomes contagious, and it's not good for the team. So do a better job of just blocking out the noise of that and just playing the game.
It's a great feeling, man. It feels good to represent the city like we did tonight. Something that the city's been waiting on for a long time. So, we feel good about it, and we're ready to get back to the crib and perform in front of.
For both of you, how would you say that Dennis's veteran leadership kind of helped down the stretch there for y'all?
I think, from my standpoint, I think he helps Cade, kind of play off the ball more, kind of just takes pressure off him, especially in clutch moments where, DS is another guy who can make plays and who we trust with the ball in his hands.
When Dennis makes that three, is it, what's going through your mind when he makes that big clutch shot? We know, okay, we probably get this stuff.
Probably both of them, big time shot for us. So, yeah, I mean, that took a lot of pressure off of us. that's a shot we know he can knock down.
What was the approach for you coming into tonight? I don't think you got assist number one, so midway through the third. They blitzed really hard on Saturday. Coming into tonight, how did you agree?
Yeah, just be aggressive and take what they give me. Start with being aggressive and see how they want to guard it from there. And then, I felt like a lot of times it was making a play to JD or whoever to make the next play. It was just what the game gave me. I wasn't really trying to look for anything in particular, just, be aggressive, play hard.
How much is this game of testing to coaches and Bickerstaff, not only teach, but to get his message across?
I feel like it's been huge. I think JB hasn't changed his approach all year. He's had the same intensity. He's held the same standard for the group all year. And, we trust and believe in everything that he tells us, all the game plans that he gives us. So it's been great.
JB, you guys were shorthanded in the court tonight. Did you feel any additional responsibility to this?
Yeah, obviously not having Stu, I understood that I was going to be leaned on a little more heavy, but I feel like my job is the same every night. To go out there and, try to dominate the boards on both ends, be our anchor in the defense, and just help the guys out. So role really didn't change, but just not having Stu, I knew I was probably going to play a little more minutes.
Okay, from just being around you this season, we don't seem to dwell on too much. So after the first playoff game, the 21-0 run, how do you kind of regroup yesterday? Is it you're in the gym or you relaxing?
Yeah, I was staying off my feet. I had as much treatment as I could, much feel-good stuff as I could, and then watching the film, trying to figure out, what went right, what went wrong. But at the end of the day, I trust our system. I trust the guys. We knew that we dropped that game, so it was just about coming out today and being aggressive and trying to outdog them.
How big has the bias been for you guys through the two games so far?
It's been huge, man. He always brings a sense of calm to us. We know we can always give him the ball and, everything settles down. On the glass, he was huge for us today, helping JD out. And so he does a bunch of everything for us, and, it's good to have that guy that has that experience and can make plays for you.
Jalen, speak to the defensive effort. Everybody can talk about Schroder shot, Cade big night, but you guys really were able to limit you tonight on the defensive end. Just walks out. What went to you guys' sense of game plan tonight?
Yeah, it was. I think that's just Pistons basketball, competing on the ball, taking individual matchups. That's the way we want to play every night. It wasn't really nothing new in terms of game plan, but I feel like we just executed at a high level today.
We'll get OG's post-game perspective when we come back. Anunoby scored only 10 tonight. He had 23 in game one. His post-game comments coming up. Season now knotted at one game apiece. And games 3 and 4 are in Detroit, beginning with Thursday night's game 3. We're on the air at 6:30 with our pregame. Game comes your way Thursday night at 7. Post-game comments now from the Knicks OG Anunoby.
I think just how the game went. No matter what, I'm always trying to be aggressive, so just how the game went.
What did you think about the rebounding discrepancy tonight?
I didn't even have to check. I felt like they
had like 14 more than you guys.
Oh, yeah. Part of it, some of it's getting good bounces. Some of it is us not finishing possession, boxing out. So we'll watch the film and address it.
What do you, attribute the slow starts to in this series? It looks like you guys have been playing from behind for a little bit.
Sorry. I don't know. We never want to start slow. It's just been happening, so we got to address it, figure it out, and try to prevent it from happening again.
What was Cade doing today that, you guys kind of contained in game one differently, I guess, today?
Just they're running stuff to get me off of his body, setting screens to get me off of him, and doing stuff like that. So they made some adjustments, and we're going to make some adjustments ourselves.
How do you combat that?
We'll watch the film and figure it out.
When that shot leaves Mikhail's hands to tie the game, do you think it's going in? He was hot tonight.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was going in. That's his shot. Yeah.
How physical was this game to play in for you?
It was a physical game, but that's what the playoffs are.
Nothing over the top? Nothing more than usual?
No.
When you run into a screen from Duren, does that feel a little bit different than anybody else that sets a screen as big as he is?
No, they're all trying to screen me and move on the screen. They're all doing that illegal stuff. Some of them are illegal. I'm sure not everyone is illegal or legal, but they're all trying to screen me as hard as they can. So just matching their intensity, fighting over, and figuring it out.
In a lot of ways, you can set the tone defensively, especially when you're on Cade. He was able to get going tonight. Just what do you think you can do differently? I know you kind of asked about adjustments, but do you feel like when Cade gets going, that kind of hurts the defense?
No, I mean, he's a great player. He made some tough shots, and they're doing some good stuff to get me off of him, off his body, and get him downhill. So just watch the film and go from there.
What's important when you go on the road for the first time in a playoff series? What do you have to do differently now that you're going into, I guess, hostile territory?
Just come out with energy, play hard, play harder than them.
Thanks. All right, Josh Hart, always good to listen to. After games, win or lose, we'll get his post-game perspective coming up. Hart able to convert there and tied it late, but it's the Pistons who prevail by 6. Josh Hart tonight, 10 points. Here he is now after the game.
In the playoffs, where every possession matters, you got to finish possessions the right way. You got to get extra possessions on the offensive side. And, that's something that we didn't do today. So, there's peaks and valleys of a season. Playoffs is no different.
Josh, Karl obviously had a hot shooting night, and then the last shot doesn't go. When he shoots that shot, do you think it's going in because of the night he had?
We got confidence in him all the time. I don't even know what he had or what he shot or whatever, but he had, 2 good looks. JB, his kind of walk-up 3. Kel, his open 3. We're living with that, Kel's the guy that he puts the work in. So we're comfortable and confident with him taking that shot. And, we'll live with the result. I'm rocking with him until the end. And, when he shot that, I thought it was good. There's sometimes you just ball doesn't go in.
Down 3, Bridges had a wide open 3 at the top of the key, couldn't convert. Bridges 19 points, but didn't score in the fourth quarter, went 0 for 4 shooting in the fourth quarter. Meantime, Jalen Brunson, 14 of his 37 in the fourth quarter. Here's Brunson now after the game.
Jalen, on that three-pointer, Mikal's three-pointer with 11 seconds left, can you kind of take me through what you saw in that possession?
Yeah, I was on the left wing. I tried to go right middle, and then I think Dennis cut me off, so I went back left, and I cut across the lane. Tried to see what the defense is doing. I just see Mikal relocating back to the top, and I thought he had a good look, and just missed it.
Jim, in terms of this flow of the game, where do you think things went left for you guys?
From the jump. I think we did a good job of fighting back, but yeah, from the jump, I think that the rebounding was a big key, and yeah, I feel like we were playing catch ball all game. And then we tied it up, and then I just didn't switch up on the Dennis 3, and yeah, I just didn't put myself in a position to help the team win on that aspect, and so that's tough.
What do you think the big
read by Dennis? What were you and Josh trying to do? It's a call, there's no call. Who makes a call on that?
It's both of us. But it's something that should happen, especially between me and him. We know each other too long to mess that up.
What do you think the biggest difference was in their play? Do you think they increased the defense more?
I feel like they definitely picked up their intensity, and I mean, when it comes to playoffs, the team that loses comes back is just more into it, and it's just a natural reaction when you're in the playoffs. And then when you lose, you find a way to figure out how to come back next game and be better. And you got to give them a lot of credit. And then now it's on us to respond.
Jalen, what did you think about your own game offensively tonight?
I feel like I'm getting the spots and missing shots I normally make, and I feel like it could be a lot better, and I hold myself to a higher standard when it comes to that, and yeah, I just got to help put my team in position to win, and all the other stuff doesn't really matter. What the stats were. When it comes to a loss, that doesn't matter at all. I just got to help my team put them in a position to win, and tonight I didn't do that.
Jalen, you guys had 15 assists as a team, obviously less than you average. What do you make of that? What do you make of the way you operated offensively?
Yeah, I feel like we got a lot of good looks, and they didn't go down, but we can't let missed shots or stuff like that affect us. You got to control what we can control, and I think that's a big key in winning and losing, controlling what you can control, and making sure you're always just fighting back. And then you can't let up at any point. You can't have any sort of complacency in times like this.
And I was also curious.
Jalen always takes extra blame when it may not be necessary. Second straight game, he goes 12 of 27 from the floor. Only 4 of 12 in this one from downtown.
I love the way he handles himself. That's exactly how a captain should handle his post-game press conference, to own up to that switch with Josh Hart. You know, those are plays that they're not winning plays, and he prides himself on making winning plays. You know, the series is 1-1. That's how it goes. You know, the hungrier team was Detroit because they knew their backs were against the wall. Now the Knicks have to respond in Game 3 because now they have the pressure on themselves to go into Detroit and get a win to get this series back onto home court. So this is still going to be a long series, it looks like. This Detroit team's a really good team. They're playing beyond their years. And Jalen Brunson and company, they're going to have to rise to the occasion, step up their games, and figure some things out.
And Brunson made the point. Knicks have to stop playing from behind.
Yeah.
It's been the case
would help.
Both games, except from that run we talked about.
That would help.
The fourth quarter, Game 1. Aside from that, it's been all Pistons. Yep. So the series is knotted at 1 game apiece, with Game 3 shifting to Detroit Thursday night. We'll see it for the pregame at 6:30. Game is at 7. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Plus now on the Gotham Sports app. Up next here on MSG, it's MSG Shorts. By the way, the Pistons win their first playoff game since 2008. They had lost 15 straight games in the postseason, but they win tonight 100-94, even though Jalen Brunson goes for 37. Dennis Schroder hit the key 3 with 55 seconds to go, and the series is all knotted up at 1. We'll talk to you on Thursday night, everybody.